You think you know me?
Alright everybody, welcome back to another edition here of Friday Night SmackDown. How are y'all doing? My name is Dominic, of course, behind the commentary table, and we are live and so that following a massive Royal Rumble pay-per-view event. And it seems as though we're kicking it off with that man, the Rated R Superstar. Of course, he's the SmackDown General Manager, but in my opinion, the biggest talking point coming out of the Royal Rumble matchup, besides, of course, Seth Rollins winning the whole damn thing, was the return of that man to in-ring competition. He's the General Manager of SmackDown, and apparently, he has been cleared, after 9 long years, cleared to compete inside the confines of a squared circle. So that begs the question here tonight as we kick off this massive show. What does our general manager have to say? Well, as you just heard, it seems as though Edge has decided to announce that he will be competing in a WWE ring. He will be making his return to in-ring competition, to singles action at WrestleMania. Well, that begs the question, as you just heard, who will he be picking for his opponent? Of course, he is the SmackDown General Manager. He can choose whoever he wants to. But I can't wait to see who Edge will choose to compete against at WrestleMania. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time to kick off the show. It's time to get into the action, as later on tonight, the WWE Champion Kevin Owens, the man who beat John Cena at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, will be going on to compete against Kofi Kingston. But that's not all, because our main event is nothing short of massive, as the Intercontinental Championship will be on the line. Drew McIntyre, the champion, will be looking to defend perhaps his biggest challenger he could possibly muster in the monster among men, Braun Strowman. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to turn our attention to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, because if you haven't seen the latest edition of Monday Night Raw, King Booker announced to the world that there will be an Elimination Chamber matchup featuring 3 women from Raw and 3 women from SmackDown. And then, of course, the winner of that Elimination Chamber bout will go on to compete for either the Raw or SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania. And this match, ladies and gentlemen, will be a qualifying match to determine one of the 3 SmackDown participants in that Elimination Chamber. And it seems as though we're kicking it off with that woman right there, Kairi Sane, the pirate princess herself, who has been making waves, no pun intended, here on SmackDown, seemingly dominating everybody that she's come in contact with, and apparently also showing up on the radar of Bayley and Sasha Banks, the SmackDown Women's Champion and her best friend, respectively. However, right now, Kairi Sane is going to be battling one of those two competitors. Kairi Sane right now is going to go up against the boss herself, Sasha Banks, in this Elimination Chamber qualifying matchup. Okay, of course, Sasha and Bayley have been ruling over SmackDown. You gotta think, if Sasha Banks were to somehow win this matchup and go on to win the Elimination Chamber match, and if Bayley's still the champion at WrestleMania, perhaps Sasha and Bayley could just leave WrestleMania with both the SmackDown and Raw women's titles. However, that's a lot of ifs. That's a lot of what-ifs there in that statement. Sasha Banks has to first get through Kairi Sane tonight, and that is not an easy task at all. Dare I say, that may be an impossible task for Sasha Banks here tonight. However, we have seen Kairi Sane suffer a few losses lately because of the distraction of course, the SmackDown Women's Champion, who is always joining her friend in battle. I'm talking about the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley. But right now, Sasha Banks, who is already an incredibly dangerous competitor, is going to be joined by Bayley to go up against another dangerous competitor, Kairi Sane. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen, here on SmackDown. Kairi Sane, Sasha Banks. Here we go, as the feud between Sane and Bayley has just been ramping up tremendously over these past few weeks. Kairi Sane looking to perhaps, gain some momentum against the duo of Sasha and Bayley here tonight on SmackDown, as Sasha Banks gets pushed across the ring. Ducks underneath does Kairi Sane. Taking down Sasha Banks, she does. And there you see, Kairi Sane's on fire right now. Of course, we learned on Monday Night Raw as well, the first participant from Raw to be entering that Elimination Chamber matchup will be Dakota Kai, who, in my opinion, shockingly beat Shayna Baszler. Okay, that's no offense to Dakota Kai. However, we've seen Baszler beat Dakota Kai so many times over on Raw that I figured it was Baszler's time to just replicate the success. However, right now, one of these two women are looking to gain success here in this matchup, as though there you see Kairi Sane taking down Sasha Banks. In my opinion, Kairi Sane perhaps has the technical advantage coming into this one. Sasha Banks, however, the strike advantage in my opinion. However, that's no shame to Kairi Sane. Okay, she can hit like a bus. However, Sasha Banks just perhaps a bit more powerful in her strikes as she goes up to the top. Does Kairi Sane, but she gets taken down there as Kairi Sane goes to the outside and then just flies back into the ring, being slammed down into the mat off the top. And then she gets taken down again with the suplex by Banks. But Kairi Sane is still trying to battle, following just that absolutely crushing blow to the mat to kick off this matchup here as Kairi Sane connects. Forearm strike to Sasha Banks and another one for good measure, before grabbing her and taking her down with the neck breaker. However, Sasha gets up, goes for another running attack here tonight on SmackDown. However, Sasha, look at this, bounces her off the ropes. And connects there, catching her. And there you see, just raining down the punches. Does Sasha Banks here on our opponent tonight. Bayley watching on very closely. The SmackDown Women's Champion. Hold on, wait a second. Sasha Banks, Bayley's best friend, brings in perhaps one of her newest enemies here on SmackDown back to the ring. And Kairi Sane just gets up and immediately hits her there. But Bayley, there you see, trying to distract the referee perhaps. Going up, trying to distract Kairi Sane as well. Following the spinning back fist right to the jaw of Sasha Banks. Over there you see Kairi Sane picking her up. Perhaps a bit distracted by Bayley there as she messed with the turnbuckle. But right now, Sasha Banks takes her down with the neck breaker. And perhaps that distraction might lead to a victory. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. Kairi Sane kicks out following the neck breaker. Over there you see Sasha trying to stomp on her there. Kairi Sane, however, goes for another running attack. Instead, she gets met with the athleticism of Sasha Banks. Of course, that kind of athleticism is going to be something that you can't particularly find in our main event. Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre. That is going to be an all-out fight for the Intercontinental Championship. You're not going to want to miss it. However, right now, these two women are going back and forth here. What is this? Back suplex. Oh, there you see the athleticism once again by Sasha Banks. And perhaps Banks now has the agility advantage. Oh, wait a second. She turns her around, has her there, and there you see connecting out of nowhere. The Banks statement out of nowhere connecting. Trying to tap out SmackDown's newest acquisition to the women's division. Sasha Banks, will she be joining the Elimination Chamber? Oh, wait. Kairi Sane out of nowhere. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. Quick as a cat into that pinfall predicament. Goes for a kick, however. But there you see Sasha Banks getting up. And now Kairi Sane following that devastating Banks statement. Going for a cover off the German. 2. No, and only a 2 count. And Kairi Sane now looking down at Bayley, perhaps taking a few moments to breathe here. She's making sure Bayley is keeping to herself here in this matchup. As she goes after Sasha Banks. Instead, Banks catches her foot. Oh, but instead she gets another foot, this time to the stomach. As her opponent, gets taken down there by the boss. And now back and forth. Here we go between these two women now. Sasha Banks, however, falls to Kairi Sane's spinning back fist. Absolutely brutal. Okay, the speed that she has shown tonight is absolutely remarkable. And it seems as though she's going for some high-flying, oh god, high-flying action. A high-flying maneuver. Instead, she just meets the mat here tonight. Okay, Sasha Banks moving out of the way. Last possible second of that insane elbow. And perhaps if Kairi Sane connected, she could be going to the Elimination Chamber. Wait a second. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. Perhaps if Kairi Sane connected with that insane elbow, we could be hearing the music of Kairi Sane as she celebrates a victory. But right now, Sasha Banks is not done. Throwing her across the ring, ducks underneath once again. And this time catching her once again. Luthez press, raining down the punches, does the boss. However, Kairi, there you see, going for a drop kick. Sasha Banks moves out of the way, goes for a kick. Kairi Sane catches it, goes for another drop kick. Sasha Banks having it well scouted. But instead, Kairi Sane pushes her off, catching her here. Trying to end the sequence with a maneuver that takes down Sasha Banks as she does it picture perfectly with that suplex. And right now, Sasha Banks on the outside. But wait a second, look at this. Springboards back into the ring. Goes for a cover here out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. No, and only a 2 count. Gets the shoulder up, does Kairi Sane here. Okay, I thought Sasha Banks might have just stolen the win, but instead she just kicks her right in the face. Oh, God, and then another kick right to the side of the stomach. And then another stomp, and Sasha Banks now raining down these kicks. Over there you see Kairi Sane runs towards Sasha Banks here. And Sane now perhaps on fire, trying to build herself back up. Trying to build herself some momentum that she had leading into that insane elbow earlier on in the matchup. But instead went crashing and burning here on the ring canvas. And there you see, just launching herself towards Sasha Banks with the spear in the corner. And now picking up Sasha Banks for perhaps another maneuver. And another strike connecting there. But wait a second. Kairi Sane turning her attention as Bayley, there you see, trying to speak a few words towards, of course, Sasha Banks' opponent tonight. However, wait a second. Banks out of nowhere. Banks out of nowhere. Off the distraction. Once again has her in the Banks statement. Kairi Sane has nowhere to go. And she taps out here, middle of the ring. And it seems as though Sasha Banks is going to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Okay, you gotta admit, Kairi Sane put up a hell of a fight here, ladies and gentlemen. But in the end, of course, Bayley, in support of her friend here tonight. Okay, distracting Kairi Sane before Sasha Banks stole the victory with the Banks statement. And there you see her celebrating. As, ladies and gentlemen, Sasha Banks will be going to the Elimination Chamber matchup. And perhaps, as I mentioned before, if she were to win, we could be seeing Banks and Bayley as both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions. However, right now I want to turn your attention to something that happened during the Royal Rumble matchup. You see, Sheamus shockingly eliminated his tag team partner Cesaro, of course one half of the bar, and then the two men just brawled throughout the arena. Cesaro and Sheamus, they're not looking too good here on SmackDown. However, they met backstage. What exactly did they have to say? Well, it seems as though following their conversation earlier tonight, Cesaro and Sheamus still find themselves in a bit of a rocky relationship, especially following the last edition of SmackDown. Okay, the go-home show to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Not only did Sheamus eliminate Cesaro from the Royal Rumble matchup, but also they found themselves on the losing end of things in the main event for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. As there you see the New Day holding the SmackDown Gold, as Big E and Xavier Woods got the job done, defeating both Sheamus and Cesaro in that main event. However, to kick off that very same show, Kofi Kingston found himself on the losing end of things in a 5-man over-the-top rope battle royal featuring some of the best here on SmackDown, like EC3, Jackson Ryker, Aleister Black, and of course, the eventual winner, Johnny Gargano. However, Kofi Kingston found himself as one of the final 2 participants in that over-the-top rope battle royal. So tonight, we're going to be seeing the matchup that perhaps we could have seen if things went a little differently in that battle royal at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, because of course the winner of that match was going to go on and fight either John Cena or Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Kevin Owens, the WWE Champion here tonight, going up against Kofi Kingston. But he also has to worry about Johnny Gargano, the winner of that Battle Royal. But there you see Kevin Owens, okay, riding high following that massive victory over John Cena, one of the industry's greatest competitors in the history of World Wrestling Entertainment. But right now, the man who holds the WWE title is not John Cena, it's Kevin Owens. He beat John Cena. Not only did he beat him, by the way, he beat him with his own move off the top turnbuckle. He hit him with the attitude adjustment off the top turnbuckle, watching as John Cena just crashed into the mat. And tonight, Kevin Owens is looking to perhaps defeat Kofi Kingston like he beat John Cena at the Royal Rumble event. Will he be able to do it, or will Kofi Kingston finally gain some success that he has been looking for, or at least that he was looking for in that Battle Royal, as Johnny Gargano, I should say. Oh, I can only assume, watching this matchup closely, going for the cover, does Kofi won? No, only a 1 count by Kofi Kingston. Of course, Johnny Gargano, in my opinion, one of the 2 Iron Men in that Royal Rumble matchup, as, Kevin Owens going after him there. Of course, the other Iron Man, in my opinion, Tommaso Ciampa from Monday Night Raw. Those 2 men have had a hell of a feud. However, Kevin Owens, has also seen himself in a bit of a feud with Johnny Gargano. Okay, both men have competed a few times here on SmackDown against one another. However, right now, the champion, Kevin Owens, down Kofi Kingston there in this non-title matchup. As Owens now goes for a strike, he misses. Kofi Kingston takes advantage of that. Okay, the quickness, in my opinion, by Kofi Kingston is unmatched in this one-on-one competition. However, Kevin Owens perhaps has the striking and power advantage, as there you see the quick strike right to the, oh god, right to the gut before a super kick connecting on Kofi Kingston. Both men have fairly similar color scheme with the black, white, blue attires here tonight. However, right now the champion being sent into the corner here. And now, oh, Kofi Kingston takes him down with a DDT. And you gotta think Kofi Kingston, oh wait a second, going for the cover here, one. No, and only a one count. You gotta think, if Kofi Kingston were to win here tonight, okay, following that incredible performance in that Battle Royal on the last edition of SmackDown, you might think that perhaps Kofi Kingston can see himself in the title hunt as well. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. However, Kevin Owens, the current champion, does not want that to happen. He does not want that Elimination Chamber pay-per-view matchup to perhaps turn into maybe even a triple threat. However, right now, Kofi Kingston looks like he's not doing too good here against the champion. Oh, well, there you see Kevin Owens. Of course, the cockiness of Kevin Owens put on display there. However, if you're Kevin Owens, why wouldn't you be? Okay, perhaps the most dangerous man in the WWE gets taken down by Kofi Kingston, 1/3 of the New Day. One of the, in my opinion, loveliest acts here, or lovable acts here on SmackDown. However, right now, Kofi Kingston throws Kevin Owens into the corner once again, and now here we go, raining down punches does Kofi Kingston. Of course, Kofi Kingston wishing that he won that Battle Royal, because he would be going on to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. He would be going on to fight, his opponent tonight, Kevin Owens. However, the circumstances would be very different, as the matchup would be for the WWE Championship. But perhaps Kofi Kingston could be looking to earn a victory. No, Kevin Owens ducks underneath it. Ducks underneath the Trouble in Paradise. Picks him up. Pop-up powerbomb connecting on Kofi Kingston and the champion. Come on, go for the cover. Oh god, well, we've seen this before. Okay, Kevin Owens deciding not to go for the pinfall. Absolutely unneeded here. Oh, wait a second. Kofi Kingston, perhaps looking to make him regret it. But instead, Kevin Owens kicks him in the stomach, picks him up, powerbomb position. Oh, and the powerbomb connecting. And oh god, he's not done. As this sickening and vile competitor, Kevin Owens, showing off that raw power that he's used to just dominate everybody here on SmackDown. And of course, the cocky attitude on display as well. Big E, Xavier Woods both watching here tonight as their partner. Following the pop-up powerbomb is absolutely not looking too good. And there you see Big E can't even watch, as both Woods and, of course, Big E, a former challenger for the WWE title, sees his friend just being absolutely devastated here, absolutely demolished here by the champion. And there you see, of course, the cockiness that I keep mentioning. Okay, the inflated ego of Kevin Owens on display that he's had ever since winning that WWE title. And he takes him down. And now he goes for the cover here. 1, 2. No, and I was just about to say perhaps a merciful cover there by Kevin Owens, but instead Kevin Owens, he just gets up. Come on, this is absolutely ridiculous. However, a punch to the face by Kofi Kingston. And wait a second, Kevin Owens now. Oh god, no. Oh god, and then as soon as Kofi Kingston punches him in the face, he just gets taken down there with the neck breakers. Now, wait a second, hold on. Kofi Kingston, he just gets up. Kofi Kingston kips up. Kofi Kingston trying to fight back now. Xavier Woods and Big E both watching on as he connects with the DDT from the corner. And now, bouncing off the ropes into the boom drop there. And Kofi Kingston trying to somehow build himself up here. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. Kevin Owens gets the shoulder up, and Kofi Kingston, I don't know what's gone into him, but he's trying his damnedest to fight back. Ducks underneath the clothesline, and now Trouble in Paradise. No, he moves out of the way, goes for the Trouble in Paradise out of nowhere, but instead he gets caught and dropped on the back of his head, right onto the knee of Kevin Owens. And now, oh come on, Kevin connecting with the package pile driver. As soon as Kofi Kingston tries to gain any amount of momentum, trying to make any sort of comeback, Kevin Owens just stops him. No, come on, seriously, just. And another. This is hard to call, ladies and gentlemen. And another package pile driver. 1, 2, 3. It's over. In my opinion, Kevin Owens, he could have just pinned off the first pop-up power bomb. Okay, hitting the pop-up power bomb and then deciding it wasn't enough. Hitting the package pile driver and then deciding it wasn't enough before hitting yet another package pile driver. Okay, Kofi Kingston, he tried his damnedest, but Kevin Owens, okay, he's just too dangerous as he sends a message to everybody here in the WWE. Well, I mean, that's not necessary to call Big E trash. Wait a second, it seems as though Big E has heard enough. Okay, Kevin Owens promising to end the career of Johnny Gargano. And there you see Big E looking into the eyes of the WWE Champion, his former rival here on SmackDown, as Big E kicks him in the leg. And now, wait a second, perhaps it's revenge for Kofi Kingston connecting with the big ending as 1/3 of the New Day, one of the Tag Team Champions, looks down at the WWE Champion with a big old grin on his face following the big ending. However, after those disgusting words by Kevin Owens, honestly, in my opinion, he absolutely deserved it. However, next week, we're going to be hearing from EC3 as apparently he has a massive announcement to make. I'm not entirely sure what about. Okay, EC3, of course, he was in that Battle Royal, immediately eliminated by Jackson Riker. Of course, he was also eliminated in the Royal Rumble matchup by the Rated R Superstar Edge. So what exactly does the top 1% himself have to say? However, before we get into our Intercontinental Championship main event next week, apparently we're also going to be seeing a big-time championship matchup as the SmackDown Women's title will be on the line. Kairi Sane, the challenger, and Bayley, the champion. And I can't wait to see that match. Of course, we've seen the two women kind of feuding, okay, back and forth over these past few weeks here on SmackDown. However, now it's time for our main event of the evening, as I guarantee you, we're going to be seeing a fight between these two big behemoths. It's Braun Strowman, the challenger, the former Intercontinental Champion, versus the current champion, Drew McIntyre. Of course, he beat Kevin Owens to win that Intercontinental title, unlike Kofi Kingston a few moments ago, who absolutely got dismantled by Kevin Owens. Drew McIntyre was successful against him, but right now he's going to have to somehow be successful in a match against, well, him. Okay, he's the monster among men. He entered the Royal Rumble at number 30. It took a curb stomp. It took a DIY super kick running knee combination to get Braun Strowman out of the ring and officially eliminated from the matchup. Right now, Braun Strowman, he is a dangerous man, and perhaps he's angry following that Royal Rumble elimination. and Drew McIntyre should be worried about it. Okay, McIntyre, he's the Intercontinental Champion. He's a very intelligent champion. He's a very powerful champion. But right now, the Scottish psychopath is going to have to use every trick up his sleeve to get the job done, and the man doesn't even wear sleeves in the ring. But right now, what he's wearing is the Intercontinental Championship wrapped around his waist. Okay, Drew McIntyre, a fighting champion, a noble champion, watched as Braun Strowman over the past month here on SmackDown has dominated nearly everybody that's come in contact with him. Okay, he's been complaining about not having any competition these past few weeks on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre, following one of Braun Strowman's matches, he walked out here and he looked at Braun Strowman and said, "You want some competition? I'm standing right here," and that's exactly why we're getting this match tonight. Drew McIntyre, the champion, I don't know if he wanted to end his title reign. I don't know if he wants career suicide tonight, but he is the one that challenged Braun Strowman to a matchup for the Intercontinental Championship, and that's exactly why we're seeing it here tonight in this absolutely massive, and I can't stress that word enough, massive main event. Okay, Braun Strowman, one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful competitors here on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre, however, strong competition as well. But right now, both men are going to be competing for that, the Intercontinental title. Okay, he's got a massive lineage as well. Some of the best competitors in WWE history have held that championship. In my opinion, one of the most prestigious titles we have here in the company, or at least in the company's history. And right now, Drew McIntyre, he is the current champion, and he's looking to show the world that he is a fighting champion, and he wants to take on all comers, including the most powerful and biggest challengers. And he's getting it here tonight against Braun Strowman. Main event, ladies and gentlemen, is underway. We're getting into it. McIntyre, versus Braun Strowman, as Strowman goes for the first punch. And right now, he's going after Drew McIntyre here, trying to take him down. Perhaps not a bad strategy by Braun Strowman. Not that you typically see a strategy form within a Braun Strowman matchup. Typically, it's just Braun Strowman absolutely dominates his opponent, and that's the strategy. But right now, these two men, these two dominating figures here on SmackDown, going after each other. Oh, look at that! Braun Strowman just lifting up Drew McIntyre, the big man, as he takes him down. And as you saw just a few moments ago here in this matchup, Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman practically the same height. Okay, McIntyre, his incredible size lends himself to be a very powerful competitor as well. Braun Strowman, however, kicks him right in the stomach, and now he's got McIntyre as he takes him down with the suplex. And there you see Braun in the ring, Drew rolling to the outside, perhaps a smart strategy, getting some space between himself and his challenger, trying to perhaps think of a good strategy coming into this fight against Braun Strowman, the monster among men. However, right now the Scottish psychopath goes after his challenger with a chop to the chest. He has Braun Strowman cornered as he throws him back into the corner there. Kick to the back. And he takes him down with a clubbing shot. Going for the cover here. One. And no, only a 1 count on Braun Strowman. As Strowman gets up quickly, he goes to pick up Drew, but there you see Drew realizing the potential danger of the situation, getting out of it, and now Braun, wait a second, goes to pick him up. But instead Drew McIntyre shows off his incredible power, sending him to the mat as the Scottish psychopath, as the Intercontinental Champion, waits for him to get up, kicks him in the gut, and connects out of nowhere. Future Shock DDT, 1, 2, 3, no, and he gets the shoulder up. And it seems as though we've got a fight, ladies and gentlemen. Drew McIntyre perhaps hitting Braun Strowman with maybe his most dangerous maneuver, the Future Shock DDT, but it doesn't get the job done as Strowman quickly moves out of the way of the incoming attack by Drew McIntyre as he launches McIntyre across the ring. Okay, just throwing Drew McIntyre like a rag doll, and I want to reiterate, Drew McIntyre, he's a very tall individual. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. I don't think he's ever been thrown around the ring quite like how Braun Strowman just threw him across the ring in his entire life. However, right now, Strowman goes for a stomp. Instead, Drew McIntyre runs at him, rushes towards him, and Braun from behind picks him up on his shoulders. He's just picking him up on his shoulders. Oh my God! McIntyre finding himself in the corner. However, he finds himself on the opposing side of the corner there. Okay, moving out of the way of Braun Strowman. And right now, Drew McIntyre has Braun Strowman down following that devastating maneuver by the challenger. As now McIntyre goes for a punch. Instead, Braun Strowman strikes back with a punch of his own. Goes for a kick. McIntyre catches the kick, hits him with a headbutt, and that incredibly hard head of Drew McIntyre put on display. And there you see both men unable to take the other down as he picks him up. Oh, perhaps a future stock DDT. I'm not entirely sure. It looked like it. It looked like he was setting him up for some sort of an arm trap suplex maybe. Instead, he gets sent to the outside, or at least he rolls to the outside, trying to get a break, trying to get a breath here as Drew McIntyre uses his environment to his advantage, launching him into the steel steps. And right now, McIntyre, perhaps seeing this as an opportunity, sends him crashing down, and I believe some of Braun Strowman's arm just was met with solid steel. I believe some of his shoulder might have hit the steel steps there, as McIntyre now sends him back into the ring. And now he waits for him. Or perhaps not. He doesn't wait for him to get up. He just picks him up. But instead he gets a big shot to the face. And another one for good measure. And now, oh, wait a second. Braun, oh God, connecting with the reverse choke slam out of nowhere. And now with one hand, 1, 2, no, and he gets the shoulder up. Drew McIntyre kicks out somehow, and Braun Strowman looks down at the champion, almost in disbelief. And honestly, if I was Braun Strowman, I would feel very similarly. Okay, that reverse chokeslam is one of the most devastating maneuvers in Braun Strowman's arsenal. And just look at Strowman, okay? Any move that he uses is devastating to any mere mortal man as he takes down Drew McIntyre. McIntyre turns around into a spinebuster, and the raw power of Braun Strowman on display here following the combination. So now he waits very patiently for the champion, for perhaps his prey to get up. And now look at this, just lifting Drew McIntyre off the ground. Just lifting him off the ground in this chokehold. But the champion fights out of it with the punches to the stomach. And then a kick to the stomach for good measure. And now perhaps he's setting up for yet another kick, this time to the face. And of course, it's going to be explosive as the Claymore connects. 1, 2, no, and again, only a 2 count. These two behemoths are in absolute war here tonight. Drew McIntyre hitting him with everything he's got. The Future Shock, the Claymore, and now he's got to get creative. Now he's got to be thinking, how the hell do I beat this guy? And I say this guy, but really he isn't just a mere guy, he isn't a mere mortal. He is a monster. Okay, that nickname, the Monster Among Men, is very appropriate for the challenger, as right now the champion gets launched across the ring. However, he quickly gets out of the corner, realizing the potential danger in the situation. But Braun Strowman strikes again, and then another strike there right to the stomach. As the champion now not looking good in the slightest. However, Braun Strowman taunts Drew. But there you see McIntyre now taunting Braun, telling him, come on, let's fight. And that's exactly what's happening as these two men are continuing the fight. Headbutt connects, taking Drew off his feet. But instead, Braun Strowman, he's still on his feet as he launches Drew to the outside. And now it seems as though Braun's going to join him, of course. Champion's advantage. Braun Strowman realizing the champion's advantage. Drew McIntyre throwing him across the ring. As now the match, ladies and gentlemen, seems to have slowed down a tiny bit. Braun Strowman, however, being slowly dragged to the other side of the ring. The count is 6 by the referee. And McIntyre now looks at Braun and now... What the hell? Oh my God! Drew quickly running back into the ring. But... Oh my God! Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre just crashed through the barricade there. The count is 7 by the referee. And now Drew McIntyre retains his title via a count-out victory. Okay, he hit him with the Future Shock. He hit him with the Claymore. He couldn't think what else to do. So it seems as though he decided to just throw himself into Braun Strowman through the barricade. And here you see in the replay, bam, I couldn't even react to it. Because as soon as Drew McIntyre got up, he realized it was the count of 9. And he retains the title just barely as both men are sent through the barricade. Drew McIntyre just getting up here. Okay, my God, both men have to be in absolute peril right now as McIntyre celebrates the victory. Wait a second. Well, following the quite literally explosive ending to that matchup, it seems as though, wait a second, Drew McIntyre trying to fight back here from this incoming attack. I believe that is the leader of Sanity here. Okay, wait a second, there you see. Yeah, it is Eric Young getting a good look at him here. Eric Young now has him and connects with the neck breaker. Well, following that absolute brawl between these two big behemoths, Eric Young has decided to make his presence known to the champion. As we are set to close out this edition of SmackDown, Eric Young apparently deciding to make himself the big talking point following that matchup.